All right, what's up, everyone? I'm back. Yesterday was the first real losing day of the show that there has ever been, and I'm kind of, at some point, it had to happen. You know what I mean? At some point, it was going to happen. I talked about it from day one when I started doing these shows. I was like, there's going to be losing days, and there's going to be some big losing days. Now, of course, secretly in my mind, I was thinking, well, but not really, but I have to say it. But then below that, I was like, no, really, it is going to happen. Of course, we knew it was going to happen, and it did happen yesterday. I'm still up, down into the single digits, though. No more double-digit ROI. We'll see what happens tonight. But, the last big losing night happened last night. It's okay. We got it out of the way. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? Short-term variance will give you big ups and big downs, no matter, even if you're, if you have a negative EV, if you have a positive EV, you're going to experience that, right? And that's what happened. And that's what happened last night. So, but overall, it was also a pretty good show, because I don't know if you caught it, but I gave some pretty damn good advice on a lot of those Pac-12 games, didn't I? Colorado, yes, I said I liked them against Oregon. Utah, yes, I said I liked them against Oregon State, although, of course, I tweeted out Oregon State second half later on, which was a mistake. But, yes, I gave that one out. And how much did I nail UCLA Washington, right? Under, even at the reduced line. I was like, I liked it at 142.5, but even at 138.5, I take it. And I said I liked UCLA plus the points, despite the fact that they just lost outright as a double-digit home favorite, right? Illinois, Michigan State under, right? So, it was a bad show. Picks-wise, jokes-wise, entertainment-wise, camaraderie-wise, love-wise, it was a great show. But picks-wise, overall, it was a bad show, but not as bad as just the second-half record was. The full game lines overall were positive from yesterday's show, and this is how it's going to happen. This is how it's going to go. This is how it's going to go. Shout out to everyone. All right, so there are some, it's a small card tonight. We'll talk about the 7 o'clock halftime lines when they come up, and then we'll call it a night. But there are some lines that I'm liking on the 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock games. I'll share them with you right now. And I think I might do a tweet out, or maybe even do like a Periscope or something of the for the second half lines of those 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock games. We'll see. We got a few people watching right now. Shout out to all of you. We happy few. I'll get to some comments, and then we'll talk about the games that are coming up, 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, because there are a few bets I made. Well, I'll tell you right now, if you want to jump on them right now, I do like the Wisconsin-Milwaukee under. I got 144.5 against IUPUI. Those are two pretty crappy teams. Sometimes when you have two crappy teams going up against each other and the total's like 137.5 or something, and they like to play, a fast pace or whatever, you get a game that's a great overplay. It goes into the 160s. I don't think that's going to be the case tonight. I think the final score is going to be like 70-64, something like that. Maybe IUPUI will win, but I like under 144.5. I like that one. I also like Tulsa. Got them at +3. I see it's now down to 2.5. Probably on the money line, a good play as well. Temple is an excellent team. I thought that they were in a bad spot against UCF, and I did take UCF first half and full game on that one in their last game, but then I like Temple a lot on the second half. That was a big rated play in my private bets, and I was an inch away from tweeting that out, but I didn't. Temple's an impressive team, but Tulsa, I think, is a step above UCF, and I like Temple. I like Tulsa here at +3. Probably like them as well at 2.5, and probably on the money line. And I also think that maybe the under in Georgetown Seton Hall might be worth a play. Not exactly sure how this game is going to go, because Seton Hall, of course, is getting some guys back, and Georgetown has some personnel issues as well. So, there's a lot of unknowns heading into this game. My sense is, though, that it's going to be a relatively modest scoring game, that Georgetown's going to, try to, assert themselves defensively, and that it'll be a modest scoring game, but the total's hanging a little bit high at like 148. So I kind of like that one. Georgetown Seton Hall under, Wisconsin Milwaukee IUPUI I think is my favorite play on the under, and Tulsa at +3. 2.5 as well, I guess, and the money line as well. Also, the Nebraska-Rutgers game, right? That one I didn't quite understand why Nebraska. I mean, Rutgers is a obviously far superior team to Nebraska. Nebraska's very interesting this year, right? They have a brand new head coach, complete roster overhaul, Nebraska, which means that, early on you would expect them to underachieve a little bit, be inconsistent, and maybe gel a little bit later on in the year. That's what I'm definitely going to be looking for a little bit, maybe in in February, maybe some ATS positive EV overall in general from Nebraska, and maybe their offense will start to gel, maybe team total overs with them. But even as of right now, I'm still not quite understanding why they were a 6-point dog to Rutgers. We'll see. I kind of like the Nebraska team total over in that one as well. I was a little bit scared to take the over, a little bit scared to pull the trigger on Nebraska, but the Nebraska team total over, I like as well. Other games on the Georgetown Seton Hall total has gotten bet way up. It's now up to 148. It opened a lot lower. Maybe someone knows something I don't know. Very possible. But, I kind of liked the under on that one. But again, that's not my quote-unquote favorite play. If I had to recommend one play of the games coming up, it would be under 144.5 in IUPUI and Wisconsin-Milwaukee. And Tulsa, I think, is probably a decent play as well. Seton Hall, Georgetown, who knows? Maybe that game will soar over. Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? I don't know. I can make a guess or two, though. I can certainly do that. All right, so let's check and see what the comments are. Shout out to everyone who's watching despite the horrible debacle from yesterday. Again, I give out second half plays because in general I feel more comfortable about my read on that market in general. But I also do believe in and bet my full game, opinions, and I share them with you. I just don't make them official public plays and track them and then say, see how good I am, stuff like that. All right, so. Let's see. What do we have here? Comments coming in, and that I assume you can all hear me. I assume everything's good. Nello, hi! Shout out to you. We happy few. You guys who were here after yesterday, because a lot of people, you know what they're like. They're like they see some guy like what, like 8-2, 10-1. He's the handicapping savior of the week. I'll follow this guy, and then the guy has a 3-8 day. And then like, this guy's full of shit. This guy's a fraud. I'm out of here. And then they're on to someone else, which is fine. You got to do you in life. You got to do what you want to do. If you want to go and, run around with a chicken with your head cut off, trying to find the handicapping savior of the week, I understand that impulse. And I hope one day you find him, it ain't me. That ain't me. I'm just a guy with some solidly researched opinions, a lot of experience in the industry, and overall, I don't mean to flatter myself here, but overall, a tiny, I believe, edge on the markets. Tiny edge. Maybe 2% in baseball. Maybe 0.5% in things like college basketball. In college football, maybe. 0.8% edge, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I also got a couple jokes here and there, so overall the package is good, I think. But am I the handicapping savior of the week or of the month or of the year? No, that ain't me. Does that person exist? I don't think so, but maybe. And people are looking for that guy or woman, good luck. I hope you find him. And if you do find him, I'd like to know who it is because I'll fucking follow him too. All right, let's see. Scott Letty. Hey, Peter, it's been a while for me. Since you and Jimmy, good to see you on board. Shout out to you, Scott Letty. Leonard Porsche, shout out to you guys who this means so much to me. You know what I mean? Who enjoy this show. The people who are, that's who I really care about. The people who are going to leave me after 3 horrible days, not just one. You know what I mean? I know it. That means so much to me. You guys are like, you know what? I'm not leaving Loshak until he has 3 awful days in a row. I'm not going to leave this guy just because he had 1 awful day. 3 awful days in a row, I'm out of here. But just 1 awful day, no. I'm staying with this guy, and I really appreciate that. Trap House, are you doing videos during Yankee season? Trap House, I can answer that. This past baseball season, because I only focused on baseball, because I didn't have to focus on anything else, I had a great baseball season. And so this upcoming baseball season, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be doing. I'm hopeful, and long-term viewers of mine know that anytime I start to say that I'm good at something, bam, I have a horrible day. Just like yesterday, right? I started to make jokes about how great my record was. Bam, horrible day. I'm sitting here telling you how great I did last year in baseball. Bam, the upcoming baseball season is awful. I don't know what's going to happen this baseball season, but I am hopeful. And I had a good baseball season this past year because I was focusing only on it. And yes, I'm definitely going to be doing something for baseball. I have no idea what. Who knows? I don't know. Yes, to answer your question right now, I plan to do something for baseball. What? I have no idea. If someone wants to make me an offer, to make me the in-house baseball host at their company for baseball season? Of course I would say yes. Of course. I have no idea what's coming. I have no idea what's coming for baseball, but I am hopeful and looking forward to it. Aaron 007. Hey, let's get that insulin money back tonight. Insulin ain't cheap unless you live in Canada, in which case it is cheap. I need to know that. Aaron 007. Do you live in Canada or in the United States? Because if you live in Canada, there's lots of ways we can get you that insulin money. We don't need to be betting on sports. We get you that insulin money lots of ways. If you live in the United States, that's going to be a tougher assignment. We can still do it. And it's a lot tougher assignment. Shout out to you, Aaron. Brooklyn, USA. Hey, well, awesome. I'm in New York, Aaron. That's my my old stomping grounds, baby. That's where I am right now. Brooklyn, USA. Yeah, insulin ain't easy to come by in Brooklyn, USA. Cheap insulin. Cheap and effective and affordable insulin. All right. Let's see what we got. Other comments here. Robbie Tagaloa, shout out to you. Leonard Porsche. Let's see. What's up, Pete? Friday has been a great day for me. Always leads my best nights betting. Yeah. I mean, when you start doing this long enough, you start to notice your own personal tendencies. And for me, I noticed this day one. It's been the case my entire betting season, all the way through all of my career at my last company, all the way through my Low Shack in the Bag shows, everything up until these videos I've been doing. Monday is my best day. And even it's been so good that even when I go on videos and say Monday's usually my best day, I don't jinx myself. Usually those Mondays are still good. There's lots of reasons for those things. Yes. So if you've noticed that Friday is your best day, Leonard Porsche, I can understand that. For me, Mondays, it's always been that way. I think it's just because I'm well rested and chilled out, and all the detritus in my brain gets flushed out and cleansed by sleeping for hours on end. And then I come in and I just smash the Monday night lines. And also that Monday is always a manageable card. There's always, relatively few games on Monday. So you can, it's impossible to bite off more than you can chew on the Monday cards, which we're all tempted to do. We're all tempted to, see like 80 games on some card and be like, how many of these games am I going to cover? All of them. Whatever you got, I'm covering them, which is, it's hard to limit yourself because it's so much fun to handicap, right? But on Mondays, that's almost impossible. They hit you with 15 college basketball games. That's doable, NBA, NHL, everything. Monday's a very doable slate always. So Monday's always been my best day for sure. Leonard Porsche Jr. says Friday's always been his great day. That's awesome. I understand. Let's see what else do we have here. Nello I, Sharp Money. Happy New Year, my guy. Happy New Year to you. Sharp Money. Deer Slayer Ski, shout out to you. Thank you, Pete, from Montana. Second half over last night. Yeah, that one. Look, I actually my second half plays last night that I didn't, tweet out did well. I love the over in the Colorado game. I forgot which one. There was one of those. There was one Pac-12 game where total was 71, just like the and that Montana game was close, but thank God it was a winner. All right. St. Even and Michael M. Dara, do you parlay or do you only do zingers? No, I mean, parlays, I can talk about parlays if you want. Parlays are, I've talked about that in many videos. Parlays magnify your EV, which is why books love it when recreational players who have negative EV on their individual plays parlay everything, but also why professional books that cater to professional players don't allow them to parlay because their EV on the parlays is going to be greater than their EV on the individual legs. No, I mainly do single unit picks, although parlays are fun. I can't sit here and deny that I don't get a recreational enjoyment from betting parlays. And I love when I have free plays, because for free plays, the correct strategy is actually to use parlays. When you get a free play, this is a little tip from me to you. Mathematically, if you get a free play, you want to basically take as the biggest underdog plays that the book will allow you to do. And usually that involves parlays. So if you get a free play, what you want to do is use that in parlays. And that is what I do. Love getting free plays, love using parlays just because it's fun to do. It's fun to do parlays. You know what I mean? You risk $4, and if everything hits, you win 500. How awesome is that? You know what I'm saying? But you have to be very careful because, first of all, parlays magnify your EV. And then second of all, because parlays are underdog bets, it's very easy to overbet on a parlay, even if it is EV, right? Because if you have a positive EV bet, but you overbet it, you can wind up negative EG, which means your expected growth is going to be negative long term, even if your bet is positive expected value. And that is that's very possible with and the bigger the underdog bet, the easier it is to overbet it, right? And so that's another treacherous situation with parlays. So you have to be very careful with parlays, but I admit that they're super fun. And yes, I do enjoy them. Smash that like button, folks, if you don't mind. Apparently people care about this. Scott Letty. So, Peter, do you go live every night? No, every weeknight, yes. Weekends I take off. Weekends I don't even like college basketball, I don't do the whole weekend even myself in private. I do part of Saturdays usually and part of Sundays. But no, I'm only doing live shows every weeknight, Monday through Friday. Yeah, Robbie Tagaloa, correlated parlays are best for free plays. Yes, if you can bet correlated parlays or even without free plays, even just with your own money. And I believe you still can. There are some parlays that are correlated, and there are definitely some parlays that are slightly correlated, but not correlated enough for books to not allow them, but still correlated enough that you should be aware of them. There's definitely still small correlation that exists that you can still parlay. For sure. Shamil, how often do you bet futures, Pete? Well, right now I don't bet any futures, but I always, if I have the time, analyze futures lines, and especially like in baseball, for example, right? Because analyzing futures odds and setting your own futures odds has great value as far as looking at the initial lines that come out early in the season, game by game, and also has great value as far as season-long expectations of what you should expect from a team long term over the entire course of the season. So I don't actually bet futures every year, and right now I have no futures bets going. But I definitely follow futures odds, and I try to analyze them and set my own odds and say what I would bet if I were going to bet it as much as I possibly can in any sport that I'm following. So let's see. Shout out to Anthony Scalza. Shout out to Grover Alex. Shout out to Steve Michael Endar, who has a joke or two. I've noticed that. Steve Michael Endara here for the expected insulin, EI. All right, so we got the 7 o'clock games coming up once again for people who missed the early part of this show. The 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock games I do kind of like. IUPUI Wisconsin Milwaukee under. Anything can happen in these games, but again, I like that one. I kind of like Tulsa. I got 3. I think it's now down to 2 or 2.5, whatever it is. Maybe the money line as well. And I kind of like under 148 Georgetown Seton Hall, although that line has gotten ominously bet significantly up from opening, which is not a great sign. But what can I say? I do kind of like it anyway. That's what I felt about the Troy game last night. It opened at 130. I didn't understand why it got bet up. I liked it at 135, and of course it went way over. So I was wrong about that one. But that's kind of how I'm feeling about the Seton Hall game as well. And that's it. And then Nebraska, yeah, an interesting team. Not sure what to make of this game. Vaguely liking Nebraska, vaguely liking the over. I did bet the Nebraska team total over, though. That was a bet. I like it. I'm confused about this game, but I like the what I'm seeing as far as the over and Nebraska enough to combine them and take a team total. That's another little tip. If you're looking at a game and you feel like you have you feel like you're seeing an edge on a side or a total, or preferably both, but you're just not quite sure. Sometimes you see it and you're like, I know I'm right here, like I was yesterday with the UCLA Washington under, right? A lot of times, though, you feel like you're not quite sure if you're seeing what you think you're seeing, as is the case with me with the Nebraska-Rutgers game. A way to protect yourself a little bit is to take the related team totals, right? Because then you can get bailed out in various ways, and that's what I do a lot. That's why my team totals in general are much better than my sides or totals. And the Nebraska game, I bet the Nebraska team total over, not the side or the total, but the team total over. So that's what I like. Nebraska team total over, Wisconsin Milwaukee under, IUPUI Wisconsin Milwaukee under, Tulsa plus the points, and I guess Georgetown Seton Hall under. All right, let's look at some of these 7 o'clock games that are coming up very soon. We'll look at the halftime lines. We'll shout out a few official plays, and then we'll get the hell out of here and try to have a little bit of a nice time in life on this first Friday night of the 2020s, right? You got to have a little fun once in a while, no matter who you are. no matter how old you are, no matter where you are. You got to at least try, right? You got to at least try to have a nice time. So that's what we're going to try to do tonight. Make a couple of bets here, second half plays, and then get the hell out of here and go out and try in one way or another to have some kind of a nice time, one way or another. Wisconsin, Ohio State. That game, I did bet Wisconsin at +7, and then I saw it up to 8, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? Ohio State has some personnel issues, and I didn't understand why they were that big of a favorite. Wisconsin down by 2, so I don't know. We'll see what the second half situation is, but I do have a bet on Wisconsin +7 and was not happy to see that the line got bet up late. And not happy to see it and was confused by it. All right, the Drexel game might already be here. Very relaxed here on a Friday evening with a very manageable 7 p.m. schedule of games. Let's look at Drexel. Let's look at this. Hope you're all having a good time. That was a nice use of the time before the lines came out, right? We discussed some sports betting theory in general, and we discussed some full game lines that are still on the board. Discussed a little bit of life advice to keep in mind at all times. Now we're going to look at the halftime lines. All right, let's see. Pull up all the sheets here. Oh, God, I forgot there's a couple of sheets I forgot to pull up here. Shout out to everyone who is still with me after last night's debacle. Let's see. All right, let's look and see what lines are up here. Hopefully tonight will be at least some small redemption. Maybe a half unit of redemption would be awesome, right? God. Oh, man. All right, we'll wait for the lines to come up. Delaware Drexel, yep. See that? It's another one. I like the under. I bet the under. 146. I didn't know why it was going up. And see, I don't understand with these college basketball line moves. Drexel is all. I also like Drexel at home. I like the Delaware team total under. Drexel has a particularly it's a tough place to play for opposing teams. The stands are right on the court. And Drexel tends to have a good home court edge, especially in these kinds of games. So I like Drexel plus the points, and I'm going to start up a Patreon very soon because my boss and associate is telling me that I have to. So I'm going to, and I'm going to give opinions like that. I would have given out definitely the under, and probably Drexel as well, and probably the Delaware team total under as well. Although I would have felt nervous because I wouldn't have been able to explain the line move towards the over. Although I would have been able to explain the Drexel being a home dog here. All right, so let's see what we got. And the halftime lines are kind of like in Drexel still. Again, see, Delaware is overall the better team, though. No question about that. Yeah, the line's like Drexel a little bit at 3.5, but that I can't. I don't think I can make that an official play. And the full game total is obviously looking great, which I did bet and would have given out if my Patreon were up today. Watch for that, folks. If that's something that that you might be interested in, I'll share all my my full game opinions and thoughts and picks and all that stuff. Yeah, I can't touch this one. Actually, the number's slightly like the over 74. Numbers actually like the over 74 a little bit. Actually, a decent amount. And the Drexel team total over. Oh, gosh. See, here we go again. All these lines are so tough, man. Numbers kind of like the over 74 here, even though I love the under. The numbers are saying that they like the over. Man, that is tough. That is tough. That would just be a graded small play. All right, I'll make that one an official play, but this is just graded small, and I'll make a video this weekend, hopefully again, explaining how I grade all these and how I track them all. Over 74, just graded small, just small. Over 74, Drexel and Delaware, and the numbers also like the Drexel team total over at 35.5. All right, I'll make that one a play as well. What the hell? Drexel over 35.5. That's small, medium, small borderline. Oh, wow, it just dropped to 35. That's not a good sign. All right, so I'm be able to get 35 now, although that's not a good sign. All right, I'll make it 35. I'll make that one also just small, graded small. Drexel over 35 small, and the over 74 small. Dropped to 73.5. See, I don't know what the hell. My numbers are totally opposite. My numbers love the full game under. It got bet way up, and the first half was low scoring. Now my numbers like the second half over, and it's getting bet down. And then my numbers like Drexel full game, and now Drexel again second half, and the market's betting Delaware. So I don't know what the hell's going on here. Wow, a lot of money coming in on Delaware. All right, let's stop looking at that game and let's look at some other games. All right, so just 2 plays, small. We'll see how this all turns out. All right, Monmouth, Siena, and the Wright State game. Let's check this out. Those were just small plays. Small plays. Where are we? Monmouth, Siena. Interesting. Okay, and pull up one other sheet that I forgot to pull up here. Siena -7. All right, let's see what's the total. And then Wright State and Oakland. Let's look at that as well. Wright State and Oakland. Let's look at that. Wright State, quality team, blowing at Oakland out. Wow, look at that. And high scoring. Look at that. Unbelievable. What's the line here? Oakland -3.5 and 77. Well, the number's kind of like under here. Again, small. At 77. Yeah, what the hell? I'll make that one an official play as well. Oakland under 77, and that will also be graded small. Just small. Small, small, small. Everything small. Hopefully we'll have some bigger plays soon. Nothing on the sides. Oakland under 77, graded small. This was a clash of styles, right? Wright State, very high-paced. Oakland, very modestly paced. Wright State, a very impressive team. Oakland, not an impressive team. And this one, I did like the over at 142. That was my play on that one. But under 77, small. Let's look at, and again, Siena -7 and 75.5. Let's look at that. Siena -7 and 75.5. This one, pregame, I like Monmouth and the under. And there you go. Yes. Yeah. Oh, man. See, it's not great when the games go, first halves go as my pregame picks and bets went, because then usually the second half winds up being a pass. Usually, not always, but usually. Yeah, that's a tough one. The second half lines here, like, what do they like? They like, they like Monmouth still. It was 7 before, now it's 6.5. Halftime lines like Monmouth. Pregame lines say pass. But I did bet Monmouth pregame. And the under. All right, let's look at some other stuff here. Let's see what other lines are coming up. Toledo, Ball State. That should be an interesting one. That's an interesting one. I like Toledo pregame, even though they've been terrible and they're down. All right, so let's look at this. I like Toledo in the over pregame. been modest scoring. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah. Yeah. The numbers like Toledo a little bit and the over a little bit as well. See, these are all like plays, but they're small, you know. All right, I can't make a play on either one of those, but the numbers like Toledo small and the numbers like over 73 small as well. Can't make any of those official plays here, but I'm sharing with you my thought process. Let's look at Quinnipiac and Marist. That's an interesting one. Quinnipiac is deadly from 3, and Marist is not good defending the 3. And yeah, there you go. Quinnipiac, again, 40% from 3, doing well. Marist hanging tough, though. And yes, this is also one I like. Marist, pre-game, plus 5.5. And the under's not looking that great. Man, these second half lines are going to be tough. Some days like yesterday, the pregame lines are the ones that have the value. That's looking like what it is today. Yeah, the halftime lines are liking Quinnipiac a little bit. -4. Not enough to make it an official play, though. And let's see, what else do we have? Let's just get all these games and maybe revisit some. See if anything really obvious comes up. Canisius and Manhattan. I had no play on that one except to lean to the under. Let's see where the lines are there. Hope you're enjoying this part of the okay. Canisius -5, 71.5. Can't really pull the trigger on that. Houston, Florida is interesting. There might not be any big plays tonight, although I did just give out 3 all small plays, and I admit I'm a little bit gun shy, of course, from what happened, yesterday. I can admit that. Houston game. Numbers like Houston on the money line at -305. Yeah, that's what they like. And I got to make that one a play. The numbers like it. The distribution says take it. Houston money line -305. Likes that one a lot. That's medium or medium big. We'll grade that one just medium. These big money lines can be very treacherous, but, the numbers say what they say. And they can be very treacherous. Houston money line -305, graded medium. That's going to be a play. What else do we have here? No play on the total on that one. Houston money line -305. What can I say? That's what the numbers say. And most of the time I'm trusting my numbers, Let's see what else is coming down the pike. And Detroit, Northern Kentucky. That's an interesting one. I like the under on that one. I bet the under on that one pre-game. Let's see where we are on that one. Detroit and Northern Kentucky. Oh, there you go. Again, yeah. See, I'm telling you, man. These small cards, follow my Patreon when I put it out because I'll give you good stuff. Probably. Maybe not. But maybe. All right, so the lines here let me see. 3 and 73.5. Well, the halftime lines like Detroit, actually. What did I like pregame? Yeah, I didn't bet it, but I had a very small lean to Detroit. Yeah, and the pregame lines like Detroit as well. Detroit is definitely the worst team here, though. but the numbers say what they say. This is going to make me. This is going to be the death of me, but I'll give that as a play as well. Detroit +3. That's going to be an official play. Detroit is the worst team here. Detroit +3. That's going to be an official play and a bet, and that will be graded. Actually, the numbers like it. Numbers like it. That's going to be a graded medium. Detroit +3, graded medium. It's always tough when you're in this kind of situation. Detroit, definitely the worst team. They're basically that guard and not much else. Northern Kentucky could easily pull away in the second half here, but yeah, the numbers like what they like. And I like the under full game, and that's probably going to cash. Halftime lines. Yeah, actually, numbers also slightly like the over and the Detroit team total over. Look at that. I'm just sharing with what these numbers say and like. And the numbers, so far, they've been decent, but they might be just wrong. Flat out wrong. Might be. Wait, here, comments coming in. Viral Video says, Pete, Northern Kentucky has good second half lines. You like Northern Kentucky there, Viral Video. I assume that's what you're saying. Let me see. All right, so anyway, official picks I gave out. This all makes me nervous. Houston moneyline -305, graded medium. Detroit +3, graded medium. That's what the numbers say. Detroit is the worst team, but I bet the worst team. But I bet it. Made an official play. All of my pregame stuff is looking great. The halftime stuff is just not. There's just not really that much, folks. What can I tell you? St. Peter's Iona. Let's look at that one. That one I liked the under, I think. What did I have pregame? Yeah, St. Peter's +9 in the under. And okay, so that one is looking bad. Although St. Peter's is not looking terrible. And the halftime lines are also liking St. Peter's at 3.5. A little bit. Again, another one, just a little bit. Yeah, they do. They do like St. Peter's. All right, that'll be an official play. St. Peter's +3.5. That'll be an official play. St. Peter's +3.5. And the grade, yeah, they like it about medium. Makes me a little bit nervous. Iona is a team that hasn't played that much. The data on them is a little bit less as far as the quantity than I would like to have at this point. But you know, that's what the numbers are telling me. So I'll take it. St. Peter's +3.5 is an official play, and we'll grade that one medium small, although it's borderline medium. St. Peter's +3.5, medium small, official play, borderline medium though. The total is 75, and the numbers like the under a little bit on that as well. And the numbers also like a little bit Iona, team total under 39.5. All right, we'll make that one a play. Iona, team total under 39.5. We'll make that one a play and a bet. And that one is small/medium small. And we'll grade that one medium small. Medium small. Iona, team total under 39.5. St. Peter's +3.5, graded medium small. And the both teams total of 75. Numbers also like the under just a little bit. A little bit. We'll hold off on that one, though. We'll hold off on that one, though. Just a little bit, though. They like it. Now it's up to 75.5. Jesus. So now the numbers like it a little bit more. Market seems to be disagreeing with me every which way today, which is, you know, not a wonderful thing to see. Wisconsin, Ohio State is up. Let's look at that. Again, I took Wisconsin pregame. Let's look at that. Wisconsin, Ohio State. Wow, Wisconsin's winning. See, I don't know what these freaking markets. Yeah, I bet Wisconsin at +7. Got bet up to 8. It just made me nervous. Let's see what the let's run these numbers. Run the numbers. Numbers basically say pass. Not even enough to say very tiny lean to Ohio State at -7, but the numbers mostly say pass. And the total, I know someone said they like the over on this one. Total looked dead on to me. Complete pass on the total for me pregame. I just loved Wisconsin, or liked it a lot. And yeah, that's going to be a pass as well. Wisconsin game, Ohio State game is a complete pass. But my pregame stuff is mostly looking great. And I will be sharing that stuff on a Patreon. Relatively inexpensive, I think, Patreon, just because my boss / associate is pressuring me to, saying I kind of have to. So I'm like, all right, I'll do my best with whatever I got. I gave out some pregame stuff today, though, didn't I? Nebraska, team total over. IUPUI, Milwaukee, under. And Tulsa. And Georgetown, Seton Hall, under. Gave all that shit out. I'm going to look at some comments in a second. I just want to give a once-over to these lines that are still out. Wait, Fairfield, Niagara. We didn't look at that. Oh, my God. Oh, we missed it. We missed it, didn't we? Wait, it's still up. It's still up. Yeah, that's a tough one. That one pregame, what did I have? The under. And that's looking not terrible, but not great. That would have been a pass anyway. All right. What else are we looking at? What's still up here? Just scanning the lines that are still hanging. Maybe make some last-minute decisions, adjustments, comments. Let's look at Manhattan Canisius. Let's look at Manhattan Canisius. -5 and 71.5. What do we have here? Nothing, basically. Numbers like, do I like anything? Nothing really. And that game's off anyway. All right. So, okay. This is what second half is like. And it's more chaotic when I'm doing it on camera in a video than when I'm just doing it by myself at home. Man, Detroit, that is not a good team. That's like when I bet the IUPUI second half a while ago, a few shows ago, and actually almost that was one of my close losers where the spread lost, but the money line won. I gave out the spread because I didn't want to do too many big money lines in a show. It's just very tough and treacherous betting on bad teams. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? These crappy-ass teams, but the numbers like Detroit, so I'm on that. St. Peter's +3.5. The numbers liked it. I'm on that. They also like the under 75.5. And that one got bet up. I don't know. I don't get it. The number's like 75.5, but I'm not going. I already gave the Iona team total under as a play. St. Peter's plus the points as a play. And we'll hold off on making that one an official play. All right, I think we got them all, right? Covered everything. Small card. I gave you 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock p.m. games. Man, I wish I'd given it. But Wisconsin and Ohio State, that's not one of these under-the-radar games. Everyone's looking at that game. If I'd given out Wisconsin at +7 and then, later on I see it's all the way up to 8, I would have been like, great. There's something I'm not seeing. And everyone who follows me and trusts me just bet the house on an insulin money on Wisconsin. But they're winning. We know how college basketball goes, though, right? How many times, if you bet college basketball for 1 week, you'll be on a 7-point dog that's winning at halftime, winds up losing by 20, right? Par for the course in college basketball. Always keep that in mind. That's why you want to bet size appropriately. Delaware is out to a big start, second half. We'll see how that turns out. Toledo Ball State, that was a pass. Siena Monmouth, interesting. All right, the Wright State Oakland game. Yeah, I like the under. Did I? Oh yeah, I did give that one as a play. Small. I liked it. There you go, Nebraska up on Rutgers. Right? Who knows? All right, let's check some comments. We'll check some comments. Give a few shout outs. Tell a few people we love them. Make a joke or two, and let's get the hell out of here. Try to have a little fun. Somehow, one way or another. Deer Slayer Ski, like the 5 bet size system, yes. And I'm also going to make a video about how I do it because I don't, most people, the way you normally do it is, it's just like 1 unit. Then you multiply by 2 units, 3 units, whatever. Like if you have if you have a minus 110 line, your basic unit is 1.1 units to win 1. And if you bet a minus 230 favorite, you're betting 2.3 units to win 1. If you're betting a plus 200 underdog, you're betting 1 unit to win 2. The way I do it is a little bit different. It makes it so that the extremes get compacted a little. Basically, the 2 win and 2 risk amounts always equal the same. That's the base bet, right? I make them equal to 2.1 just so that the minus 110 lines are 1.1 unit to win 1. But then, like if I have a big favorite, like a minus 300 favorite, it wouldn't be 3 units to win 1. It would be, like 1.5 units to win 0.5, a little bit more on each of those. They always add up to 2.1. And the same with the underdogs, like a plus 300 dog would wind up being not 1 unit to win 3, but half a unit to win 1.5 units or something. And then I multiply it by the multiplier, like the biggest times 5, medium big times 4, medium is 3, and like that. And I do it like that for a few reasons, just so that you don't wind up going crazy when the lines start to get further away from minus 110. Calino says, can you link your sheet? Yes, I was thinking about doing that. And I was also thinking about putting up all of my sheet where I have all my past plays as well. I don't know if I should be afraid of someone in reverse engineering what I do, but I'm probably screwed no matter what. So who cares? Who cares? Let's see other comments coming in, and then let's just look at Alex Ramirez. Shout out to you. Yep. LOI St. Peter's plus 3.5 medium. Yep. I own a team total under 39.5 medium small. Yep. That was an official play. Houston money line minus 305 medium. Hey. That was borderline. Could have been a medium big play. Let's see other comments. Let's see Grover Alex. What did Pete like in IUPUI? I like the under 144.5 is what I got. Scott Letty said, "Do you tweet out all your 2H picks?" Unfortunately, my wife said, "Turn Peter off." LOL. Scott Letty's wife said, "Turn Peter off." Women usually like me, though. Scott Letty, I'm sure you're not here. Can someone find out? Shout out to you, Paco Healy. Is St. Peter's plus 3.5 a play? Yeah, it's my play. If you want to make it your play, that's on you. Yeah, it was my play. It was a play, Paco. But what I really want to know is, David Hutton says, "Love hearing about your process, Pete. Keep educating me." Sure, I'll give you, as much education from me as you want. There are definitely many people out there who are way smarter than I am, but there are also a lot of people out there who are way more stupid than I am. So, I'm kind of in the middle. If I can help you out in any way, I will. But I would really like to know. Now, I want to know why Scott Letty's wife said, "Turn Peter off." Usually women like me. Usually they do. Usually they're like, "Who is this guy? He seems pretty nice." Justin Casey says, "Peter, do you ever cash out of any of your bets?" I've never taken a cash out from a book yet, but in the future, it may happen. What do you mean cash out? Do you mean like cash out? You mean like bet the other side of a second half, like bet the other team on a second half play, then I bet first half or full game all the time. Yes. Yeah, I did it with the UCF Temple game very recently. Temple was a max second half was a max bet play for me. I thought it was a bad spot for Temple, which it was. And a lot of times when you have a talented road team in a bad spot against an inferior home team, the first half is when it's better to bet that home team, and then it's usually a great play on the not usually but often a great play on the better team second half. So yeah, I totally do. What's the guy's wife said? Turn Peter off. Why? I'll give her advice too. I'll give her advice. She could use some advice, I'm sure. Some life advice. You know, I can talk about other things other than sports. Scott Letty. Oh man. I can't wait to have him back in again. I want to find out what her issue was. What her issue was. Turn Peter off. Hell yeah! All right, let's wrap this up. Let's look for some comments and then wrap everything up. So, yeah, I assume that's what you meant. Do you ever cash out? Yes, bet the other side on the second half all the time. Yeah, totals with sides, absolutely. And in fact, it's great because you can wind up protecting yourself. But I don't do it. I never do it for the purpose of protecting myself or giving myself a middle. I always just do what the numbers, which might be wrong, but I always just do what my numbers tell me. But there's plenty of times when. Well, even today there were a few, right? My numbers said that the under in the Drexel game was a great bet, which I bet, and then they said that the over was a good bet, and I did bet it small. So if the over doesn't hit second half, I'll still win on that one because my full game under was much bigger. And the same thing with the Oakland game. I bet the full game over 142, decent size. And then a small play on the under 77. So I just did it today twice. What else? Where else did I do it today? That was it. But no, today I have two situations like that. Drexel game, under 146, and second half over 74, small. And the Oakland game over 142, and the second half under 77, small as well. So yeah, happens all the time. Let's look at some other comments, and then we'll wrap this up. Nello Y says hedging then, right, Pete? Yeah, but it's not actually officially hedging. I'm not trying to reduce my exposure. They're just two bets that have EV that happen to be individually, oppositely correlated. So they're related. So when you're doing those kinds of bets, you have to take, if you're doing like an advanced, Kelly staking system or money management system, when you're doing those kinds of bets, you have to factor in, the relation between those bets, of course, because your exposure and your risk and all that stuff. And, it's a little bit more complicated doing Kelly staking with two bets that are correlated than just Kelly staking individual bets with an edge. But yes, essentially it is hedging. But again, I'm not hedging it for the purpose of reducing my exposure. I just happen to be betting two bets that happen to that my numbers say are both have value that happen to be negatively correlated. Yes, and then you have to take that correlation into consideration. All right, what else do we have? Shy Archie, lame non-person. Yeah, man, these wives can be brutal though. I bet you Justin Letty's wife would be like, yeah, well, maybe some women like you. I don't, and I wish my husband would stop watching you. I don't think you're cool. I think you're a loser. And I wish my husband didn't watch your videos ever, as well as any sports betting videos ever. That's probably what she would say. That's okay. She's entitled to her opinion. Shout out to you, dear Slater Ski. Nello I. Shout out to you. Paco Healy. Yeah, she can. Paco Healy. She knows I'm MGTOW. Yeah, she can sense the MGTOW. It's written all over my face. Yeah, she can sense it because she knows now I'm giving her husband advice on betting lines today. Tomorrow I'm giving him advice on MGTOW and he's out of there. Yeah, she knows. Cut it off in the bud, right? Today betting lines, tomorrow name MGTOW advice, and bam, her life is turned upside down. David Hutton says opposite beat. The wives are jealous. You're taking up all the attention. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to. Scott Letty. There you go. Why doesn't she like me? Scott Letty. Normally women are like, I like that guy. Who's that friend of yours, Loshak? I like him. You can invite him over. I don't like your other friends, but I like Loshak. He's fine. Yes, you can invite him over. All right. I guess that's about it. Deer Slayer Ski says, my girl just looks at me and says, enjoy your sports app. Now, there's a good woman, because she's like, I don't know what you're watching, but I want you to be happy because I like you. That's a woman with good character. That's good character right there, Deer Slayer Ski. Take it from me. I've been around a while. I know what I'm talking about. Oh, she says she loves you, but she says Friday nights are hers, but no longer now. I found this show. LOL. All right. Well, Scott Letty, listen. Friday nights are never going to be late nights because there's not that many games on Friday. Right now, we're going to end this show. I'm going to go and try to have a little bit of fun this Friday night. You go hang out with your wife. Give her a good time. Show her that you love her and appreciate her. And then she'll let you watch more sports betting videos in the future. And then you show her you appreciate her even more in the future. And then she'll let you watch even more sports betting videos in the future. And it'll be a positive feedback loop and you'll have a nice life. So that's it. That's it for today's show. This week overall was a little bit negative in terms of the bets. Hopefully next week will be better. Shout out to all of you. I'll see you on Monday.